It is the day after a mid-October cold front. The winds have swung to the south, promising warmer temperatures to come, but for now the day is still cool and hopes run high for daylight activity. Here in Warbritton is once again on public land overlooking a buck bedding area, but this time it is in a new location. He has chosen to stay away from the buck nest until the winds are more agreeable.
Well, it's October 21st. Came down into our river unit this evening. We're just doing an observation sit tonight. This area right down in here is pretty tough to access. Most of the deer are living down in this old dry riverbed. So tonight we're just watching over a big portion of it. We are in a spot where we can maybe get a shot at one. We got a couple of trails coming by us. We're in a little bit of a funnel up here on top of this ridge, so I've got the bow in the tree, but not high hopes of getting a shot. However, we should see some deer from here.
As Aaron watches for movement in the marsh, 30 miles to the west, Caleb and Taylor Byers head out in search of a giant 11-pointer.
It's October 21st today, and we're on a farm where we came in and we put a poor man's plot in, and it looks like the ryegrass came in really well. There's a lot of traffic coming through here, and it's mid-50s today, so it's definitely cool enough that we could get a mature buck up on his feet in plenty of time to shoot. There's an 11-point in here with a little kicker that I'd really like to see tonight and maybe get an opportunity at. There's a nice scrape at about 25 yards, so that would give me the perfect shot. So we're gonna finish getting set up, and hopefully we can get another deer on the ground.
As Caleb and Taylor settle in, 100 miles to the northeast, Jared Mills watches a standing bean field, hoping to see his number one buck, the deer he calls Hermit.
Well, it's October 21st, and I'm settled in for the evening hunt. I was also able to get out for a quick hunt yesterday, and I checked cameras before hunting and had some good news. One of the deer that I was hoping would eventually show up finally did. Hermit is back on camera.
Jared's history with Hermit dates back to the previous season when he was hunting a giant buck he had nicknamed George Brett. The ranges of the two bucks overlapped, and the younger buck, being the more visible, was a regular on camera and in front of Jared's stands. Jared made the decision to pass Hermit, knowing that he had plenty of upside. Of course, there was the ever-present hope of filling his tag with the big 10-pointer. In the end, the older buck fell off the radar, and Jared found him dead in March. Hermit made it through the 2015 season and now has become Jared's number one target.
It's kind of funny, I was going to hunt last night at a different area of the farm, a small secluded food plot. While walking in, I snapped my bow sight off on a branch somehow. So I didn't have a bow, I was just filming obviously. I left the bow back by the truck. But because I wasn't hunting, I decided to go to an observation stand. I climbed up in the redneck over a couple hundred yards away from me. And I could see a long ways, and right around 6 o'clock, Hermit actually came out into this food plot that I'm sitting on tonight. It's kind of crazy that he hasn't shown up on any of these cameras, and it kind of looks like he potentially walked by two of them last night, so hopefully he's back. He's finding his main area for the fallback now. So it's been kind of a rush day trying to get a new bow sight, so I'm ready to roll, and I actually brought the decoy tonight. I'm excited. Hopefully I can lay my eyes on Hermit one more time and keep making a game plan for that deer.
Taylor and Caleb planted Frigid Forage Autumn Quick Plot in combination with cereal ryegrass to create this poor man's plot. This seed blend is perfect for spots such as this that receive limited sunlight. Prior to the season, Jared sets up several muddy Pro-Cam 12s in hopes of capturing video of Hermit. In mid-October, the giant buck finally begins to show up, and the many photos Jared gets of the deer helped him to form a plan. A reliable trail camera is one of the most important tools we use when patterning the deer we hunt.
My boot of choice for whitetail hunting is the Cabela's 5mm Accelerator rubber boot. It's completely waterproof and has an overbuilt sole for hiking through rough terrain. The neoprene top makes for better range of motion, resulting in longer, more comfortable days in the field. When hanging and hunting on public land, we never head to the woods without our Muddy Pro climbing sticks. They attach easily to the back of the stand. The rope cam system makes for a silent setup, and you can get up a tree very quick and quiet with these sticks.
Back at the marsh, Aaron has yet to see a deer, but in front of Jared, the rut's first chase is underway.
Action's starting to pick up a little bit. I've had a couple of solid 3-year-olds. One came right by the decoy, just panting like crazy. And another one's chasing does around out in the field. So just a little bit after right now is when Hermit came out last night. So hopefully he does the same thing. Like I said earlier, it's a big field. So I'm assuming if he does come out, I'm going to have to try to find some way to get him over here, whether that's a grunt call or I do have the rattling antlers tied to the pull-up rope, so they're down on the ground right now. Let's just hope he comes out in the first place.
As the sun dips below the horizon, the activity picks up for the Byers, but from an unexpected direction.
That is the craziest thing I've ever done in a tree. I literally just shot him with Taylor's bow. The stand set up kind of weird because we put in a poor man's spot right here, and it's basically set up. All the deer were supposed to filter through. She gets her shot here, and then they work out to the bean field. But I looked up, and the buck was literally coming right down the edge here, and we knew that once he got to a certain point, there was no way he was going to come to this plot, so she wasn't going to be able to get a shot. So I said, Taylor, I've shot your bow in the yard. I feel comfortable. Just hand me your bow. So we kind of did the old switcheroo, and I just smoked him. That is awesome. That's a nice deer right there. I've never shot a deer with a person bow, but that's freaking sweet. The deer we came in to kill.
As the Byers ride an adrenaline high, Aaron enjoys one of his own. Nothing could have prepared him for what steps out on the other side of the marsh.
Oh my. What the heck is it? He's a big non-typical looking weird thing. He's crazy. Hang on. I'm filming him right now. I don't know what in the world this thing is. I think he's a mature buck though. He's fixing to work a scrape right there. Ended up seeing a really good buck come out just across from us. Couldn't tell much about what he had on top of his head other than it was a mature buck. He's either got these drop tines on both sides or he's got these beams that dip way down. I'm not real sure. But he's definitely a mature buck. And he definitely got right out of that bedding area. That's where these bucks have all been, down in here by this lake. So they've been bedded up in these little coves and stuff. Off of the river, and there's a bunch of willows and that in there, and pretty thick. That's right where him and that doe were at. He got up and followed her out a little ways and made a scrape, and then went along this edge 400 or 500 yards from us, long way. But it's a good sign that we saw one. So somebody may be in there the next couple of days trying to kill that dude. It's a cool buck.
Realtree's extra pattern kept Caleb and Taylor hidden as they pulled off the nearly impossible task of switching both the bow and the video camera in the tree with this great buck and two does at close range. Low light accuracy requires a sight with bright pins. Fuse sights have some of the brightest pins on the market, making it possible to take shots right up to the end of legal shooting time with total confidence. I've been in a number of hunting camps over the years, and hunters rarely argue over which bow or arrow is the best. But it can get pretty heated when the subject of broadheads comes up. Bow hunters have strongly held opinions about what is the most important on this critical part of the equipment puzzle. At Midwest Whitetail, we've been shooting rocket broadheads for as long as we have been in business. Hoyt makes great bows for women and youth. As you can see from Taylor and Caleb's hunt, men can also shoot these bows accurately. For many companies, youth and women's bows are an afterthought, but not at Hoyt. They put just as much energy into producing great youth and women's bows as they do in producing their other models.
Well, that's about it for tonight. Pretty good movement actually, but it's a fun night to be in the stand. A lot of good pre-rut activity. There's actually one point where I could hear a pretty good battle going on inside the timber, and I'll be back after Hermit probably within the next week. We are heading down south to Mike's farm for the rest of the weekend, and hopefully we can have some good hunting down there as well.
I can see my knock ahead here. We're gonna go ahead and just follow the blood here just for practice. I don't see any sense in just running right over there, so. He's right there. Yes. Whew. Look at the mass on this dude. He is a stud. Sorry, Taylor, but this was supposed to be your deer. Man, this buck came out. I seen him working down the edge, and I knew the way he was going, we were probably gonna have to make a switch because there was no way possible she was gonna get a shot. And I waited till the last possible second to do it because I really wanted her to harvest this buck. But I'm definitely not complaining, that's for sure. He ended up stopping perfect for me. I just had to duck a little bit and made a perfect shot on him with her bow. And I couldn't be more excited. This one feels pretty good because that's the first time in that set. And we did a poor man plot there. And we kind of thought we'd have a lot of deer filtering through there. We thought Taylor would end up having kind of a chip shot, but as luck would have it, all the deer kind of crossed into the field about 100 yards from us and then worked right down the edge. Ended up shooting this buck at 30 yards. And we are on a roll. Taylor shot a buck on Tuesday, and this is now Friday, and we got another big buck on the ground, so wow, that's all I can say is wow.
The RTP Genesis seeder permits us to plant all sizes of seeds, from the small stuff found in Big and Beastie all the way up to big seeds like corn and soybeans. It is nice to have this much flexibility in one critical tool. We love redneck blinds because they permit easy shots in every direction. The vertical corner windows make it possible to take shots of any distance without having to raise up or drop down. Also, the increased visibility of all these windows makes the overall experience more enjoyable. I've never liked the idea of dumping minerals on the ground, forcing the deer to eat dirt. Not only is the resulting hole unsightly, it just never made sense. When I switched to Trophy Rock, I was able to keep my mineral sites off the ground, in my case, on stumps. After you have done all you can to reduce the odors on your clothing and on your body, the next logical step is to do all you can to reduce the odors in the air. That is where the ozonics units come in. The ozone emitted drops down over your scent stream and destroys a large amount of the odor molecules that remain. Small diameter arrows like Easton's FMJ series make sense for many reasons. They penetrate very well and drift less in a crosswind. The FMJ is also the perfect weight for whitetail hunting.
Look at the mass on this dude. He is a stud.
October has been uncommonly good to us. The Byers tagged their second buck in just 3 days, and Aaron's strategy of hunting buck bedding areas on public land is paying off with daily encounters. With Lefty in the freezer, my attention turns to another great buck, one I have been getting on my trail cameras during daylight hours, a long tine 10-pointer I've nicknamed Skinny. Cautiously, I begin picking away at the fringes of his range. We don't get a lot of deer movement, it seems like, on these really still days. I mean, we've killed deer like that before, so it's not like it's impossible, but the trend is that would not be good hunting conditions here. This is on the fringe of what we know to be, or what we hope to be, Skinny's range. This is my next target buck now. With Lefty out of the picture, there's an awful lot of season left, and I don't want to be sitting in my office during the rut. I'd rather be hunting, and the only deer on the farm that I know of that would be worth giving up hunting the rut is this buck we're calling Skinny. Cold fronts are the fuel that fires the pre-rut. Nothing arouses October bucks more than plummeting mercury. Yet we all know this is still just a preview. The real action is yet to come as we continue chasing November.